Posts like this remind you what the primary role of Israel's Western propagandists is, which is to deny reality. You know, you always hear about how in Hebrew, Israeli people are extremely honest about how they feel about Gaza, how they feel about their own country, all that kind of stuff. And there's a reason for that, because they don't have to hide anything. They can just say openly, oh, we are openly responsible for the kind of crimes that not many years ago, people were committing, and everyone was thinking were the greatest crimes in the history of humanity. In fact, we just had Holocaust Remembrance Day as a tribute to the memory of the kind of people that were victims of these kind of crimes. Now we're doing it. That's exactly what this guy is saying. Yeah, I got back from a Holocaust memorial thing and I was reflecting on how actually we're the Nazis now. Of course, if you combine this with the whole idea of lately came out that the IDF accepts the figure of 70,000 dead in Gaza, everyone's been pointing out that that's because they know the number is way higher than that, and the 70,000 almost kind of makes them look good. If you remember, all the Western propagandists of Israel, if you live in the UK, the US, I live in the UK, they've all been telling us that, that number is invented. And in fact, all our media started saying Hamas-run health ministry to plant the seed that that number is actually fictitious. Now the IDF comes out and says, oh yeah, well, seems about right. Again, we know it's not right, but even if you take them at their word that that's right, doesn't that embarrass? I mean, the Western propagandists have no shame. They can't be embarrassed. But our media has been credulously pretending as though we can't trust these figures because they came from a body that's affiliated with Hamas. Now the IDF says actually they're accurate. Is the media not going to say, oh, now it's accurate as well? So the Hamas that you were all criticizing before, now you're going to cite as a true source because the Israeli military is now citing it. Doesn't this just embarrass you? And that's why, again, the primary role of Western propagandists of Israel, and I include the media in this, Sky News, BBC, CNN, Fox, CBS, their primary role is to deny reality, because Israel and the people that live in Israel, they know the number is much higher. But the job of these kind of people in the West is to lie to us and pretend as though that's not happening, just to run cover for Israel, which is kind of embarrassing because, again, we all know that the Israelis acknowledge that, yeah, we're doing much worse than that. But these people have to now defend the reality that doesn't exist. So now they've all kind of shifted their tune and said, oh, well, that number doesn't distinguish between Hamas people and non-Hamas and, fighters and civilians. This is a new lie. So tomorrow, IDF is going to come out and be like, okay, maybe 95% of them civilians. They'll change the lie again. Like, they're actually behind. Like, the IDF says the truth, then a few years later, they admit the truth. It's just crazy stuff. And that's why I think this country is so dangerous. Like, they are, it's a war